Right then, afternoon guys. So what I'm gonna do is, one of my mates wants some black amino, black krill pop-up. Now we've done a little bit of that there actually, there's another one in there. So what we do is 1 egg mix, just a little dusting of the amino acid, and then we want a small amount of the liver. So we put a small amount of the liver powder in there as well. Now the liver will give the bait colour as well. So we blend that in, and then we go with CC more. CC more krill, and we add the eyes are getting worse here guys, seriously. We add 5 mil of the krill. Now that is it's a lovely additive is CC Moore's krill. I really do like it. I rate it highly as well. It's a lovely krill. It's the one, that one. So then the next step is the same amount. Well, actually, no, we had 7.5 mil of bloodworm extract. This is not the bloodworm that I use for the feed bait, and it's not the bloodworm I use for the feed boilers, by the way. That's actual bloodworm. So we add that. Right. That's 5 mil each. Then we want to touch of butyric acid, and then we whip that to going on. That's one more little thing that I forgot is the activated charcoal. Turn it off a sec as well guys. Right, so what we do with this now is we add, it's not that much left actually, so we'll add that into it. So we've gone with that, I think. There's a little bit left still. I hate chucking stuff away, there's bits left in them. Right then guys, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these out of the way now, because if not, it just gets messy. So we get that out of the way, we get that out of the way. And then the bloodworm, I always rinse the lid in cold water, and then just a quick wipe with a towel, because if not, it stinks. And then also to that, we add a small amount of rock salt. That will help penetrate the bait, and it will also make it, give it a little bit of, not that it needs it, but it will give it a little bit of shelf life. And then the next additive that we use is, if I can find it, the powdered krill. I'm going to be doing far more of these as well now. I'm not selling it no more, so I will show you how I've been rolling them. But obviously there's certain ones that I'm not going to be showing you what I'm using myself. But I will be using this krill bit. I will be using myself. Now all I want from this now is just one small spoonful. Don't forget this is only for a tub of pop-ups. So we just go for a spoonful of the krill meal, and then they stink, absolutely stinks, does that. It smells strong, guys. So back into from that. It actually doesn't need, that krill meal doesn't actually need freezing as well, but I like to freeze everything if possible. So then to that now we just whip that together and it's going to give us a nice like that. So it's just activated charcoal, which I think you would probably I think it's just charcoal ground up into a dust, and I definitely will be doing it myself when next time I go down fishing and I take a barbecue with me. I will definitely be smashing a bit of that charcoal up, because it's all it is, and it doesn't do you any harm anyway. If anything, it's a great additive to get anything that's bad in your body out, you know what I mean, is charcoal. So just get it going. I've done this before, but what I do think is, I think I may be selling liquids. So if you want any liquids, I think I may sell liquids, which will be small bottles of the krill and bloodworm that you can just add to the base mix, and then it saves you having to spend a fortune on the other big bottles of it. So I'll be able to do stuff like that, but I'm not doing roll base anymore. So, but pop-ups are no problem. I don't mind doing pop-ups. They're easy enough to do, and they don't go off. So to that now, even though we're using Polaris pop-up mix, I still add coat dust. For the simple reason of the baits that I'm rolling in are small. So we had just a small handful of coat dust. And like I said, that's only for one reason alone. That is the baits that we'll be rolling in are 14mm, probably 14s. And I put the chocolate, the coat dust gets put into the egg. At the minute it's going to be fishing over pellet. We're at that. Now the next step is to, now I'm out of hemp oil, but it's not a problem, just a small amount of normal oil will do. It doesn't make a difference really. It makes a difference. I found it makes no difference to me catches or anything like that, so just normal oil. Now out of this one mix you're probably going to get quite a few pop-ups. So now we go with the a 12mm nozzle, which is that one. So we go with the 12mm. We may need a little bit more coat dust in there as well, guys, because it's with it only being 12mm. And now Polaris pop-up mix is a great, it's best pop-up mix on market. I've just found another one though that is really good, but I don't want to really be eating name away that yet. I'm not advertising for companies that are doing me no favours. So But CC more though, there's no point. It's, in my opinion, CC more are just, I prefer them than any other company. I really do like CC more stuff. So we get that coat dust into there now, and then what we do then is, little bits fell away to one side, so we get that in as well. Then what we do then is Flores pop-up mix. It's like to use a spoon at this point, and we go with a small spoonful to start with, and we just slowly work it into it. It's making sure that if there's any big lumps in there, they get smashed down. And then again, so we go at it again. Right. Make sure everything is mixed in really, really well. There'll be a couple of tubs here when it's done. There'll be a couple of tubs. Right, so now we're pretty much already at the stage we want to get there. We just need a little bit more pop-up mix. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to get a small baking tray out. To that small baking tray, the very fine dusting of a pop-up mix. And believe me, some of you will be thinking I ain't doing that, wasting pop-up mix, but the thing is if you don't do it, then your barrels aren't going to come out right. It's plain and simple. It's just as easy as that, you know. They don't come out right if they're not laid in something that makes them not stick to the if you just hold them and you put them on the side, you find that you get flat sides to them. Whereas by doing what I've just done, you don't get that. You don't get that with it. So now it's in with the hands. Now we're not there until this bowl is clean. You want the bowl clean. Now there's more here than, there's quite a bit here. You probably get two tubs out of this easily. But the thing is we're gonna have to do them in two sizes because I don't want a black small bases. But I know you wanted smallish bits. Now there's coat dust in them, like I said. So we're not far off with that. Just keep working it now. You see how it's sticking to my hands there? You do not want that. It's the last thing you want. So we're going with a bit more pop-up mix. And we work it into it. Keep going at it. And then we still want it a little bit sticky, because we're going to need to add the right touch more coat dust in a bit. So at the minute now, it's coming along lovely. Now that's not far off at all now, that it's that ain't far off at all. Now look, see that? You do not want that. So, but it will pull off your hands. You've got to keep rinsing your hands, because if you don't keep rinsing your hands, you're never going to get a true idea on their wetness, or if it's too dry. You're never going to get that truer idea of this, if it's done right or not. So we just go with a bit more pop-up mix into that, just to get rid of that off his hands, and then we polish up everything that's left there. Now it probably looks like there's half a tub left, but believe me guys, there's a lot more than half a tub. It's compacted down into the bottom of that now, and it looks like off.But, but there's a lot more than off.But left. It's just compacted. So we just get that off his hands. We need that off his hands, because if not, we're not going to get a true idea of the consistency of it. So then we bung that down there, and we bung the lid on that. We get that out of the way, and then we go back to the cold dust. Just a bit this time, just a dusting. There's quite a bit in there already, so I can't see it really needing that much extra. So now we're back. So we get back in now, and we need the coat dust into the paste. Making sure to pick every single bit of that goodness up that's in there, the bloodworm and krill and the rest of it. And then we knead it into it. Still a little bit wet. Like a knob, better put that away. Shouldn't have done that. Right, again. So now we go very gently with the, we're very err on the side of caution really with it now, because you too much in, and they always sit here, add an egg or add a little bit of water, add this, add that. I've never found it to be that easy, to be perfectly honest with you. You're far better off trying to get it right, or to have it a little bit stodgy over it being too dry. Definitely that's perfect. Now that's perfect. Lovely sausage. I like krill paste, krill and bloodworm, Whales breath. Now it's a great bait this. I was telling someone earlier on, I've just been down to Treaton back. It's a gravel pit just outside Sheffield, Rotherham, and it's where Minor Strike took place, or Greece. Well, you probably all know that if you're a certain age. And to the point that this actual bait and another one called made by with sweet corn, what I do, it pulled the fish from out of snags to exactly to where I wanted them. So my plans were working. Now then, just pump the gun with the hand over the end of it here. Letting that air, just let that air out. And once you start feeling it like now, gently, just till you get that. And then it's on with the nozzle. And then it's out with, we'll go with about 7 sausages at this 12mm, and then we'll up it to a different size for him. Because they will probably expand a little bit. Right, so we've gone with 7 there, which now you're going to understand why the reason for the coat dust is it's a 12mm, and it's a very, very smaller pop-up really, if you, and then it's all it's a matter of doing is it's a matter of putting the table at that angle, gently down on it, forward and then back flat to the table, and it will give you perfect little dumbbells, which then we lay on the pop-up mix we've put there earlier. Now I'm not going to roll them all at 12mm. I'm going to roll him some bigger as well. Now gently again, forward, hard bite, and it gives us beautiful little 12mm barrels. Now those barrels, they should, in theory, which tests I've done before, is they'll hold the size 2 up. But obviously I'd probably go with a smaller barrel, a smaller hook with these, something like a 12. You'll still land a 30-pound fish on a size 12 hook. It's hooks nowadays are very, very strong, so we just take them, as long as you don't use corders. So you just keep taking them out, ridge monkey. And then we've got 3 sausages left to go at 12mm. So 3 12mm sausages left with the coke dust in these ones as well. So we bring those ones out. That one's slightly odd shaped, so it just, and that one is. So them ones, they just get slung to the bike. They're no good to me when they're misshapen. I don't like misshapen. For myself, I don't mind, but someone that's buying them, it's not like you're wasting them. You're going to re-roll them again, but you're going to make sure that they're perfect shape. Right, now it's last sausage. So we just flatten that end off, gently over it again, back towards you. Them two, there you go. Now these would be lovely for zig fishing, absolutely lovely for it. So all we do is we do that, and then we dust them. We just give them a slight dusting in that pop-up mix. It's really, that pop-up mix on this tray is really, really important. You need to make sure that you've got some on it, because if not, the base will stick and it just becomes an absolute mess. So make sure you've got some on it. It's definitely well worth it. And then what we do is we take the gun off, the end of the gun off, we flip that off there, and then we go over to a slightly larger nozzle. So it's getting 2, yep, we go to that one, which is a 14 shite, which is a 14mm. So we've got 12s and 14s now. So we go to the 14, which is it? Yeah, definitely. It's so we go with the 14, and then we bang that on, and 14's it next to come out. Now we push the old pop-up mix back, but pull it together. Don't just leave it in single 12mm on the side, otherwise it'll dry out. So then we go to the 14mm now, and then